Hi, welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 boys, ages 10 to 20. I have graduated too, and today I thought it would be fun to share with you some of our favorite curriculum we have used over the years, from early elementary until now. It took me a few minutes to sort of look through some things. Some subjects I have not made a lot of changes, so it's just going to be our favorite. And some of them we have used a variety of different things. I will mention those as I go along. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to start with math, some of our core subjects, which is math. And our favorite is Math UC. This is the one my 5th grader is using this school year. And this is Algebra 2, which is my 10th graders. And this is just an extra book. We have all of them except the ones underneath my 5th grader because I have sold those or given those to someone because we have finished up. But we have used this curriculum for all my boys. If you have followed me, you will know last year we switched for, at the time, would have been my 9th grader. And I almost regret not just going through Math UC because obviously we are back and it is going really well this school year and I'm very thankful for that. So I do have a video on this and I will link videos on different curriculum that I have done look-throughs or reviews on. I will link all those below. But Math UC has been great for my boys, all 4 of them, all different learners. It's been great. Okay, the next thing is going to be language arts, and I'm going to just mention grammar. And for grammar, this is what my son is using this school year, which is Shirley English. We use a variety of grammar throughout the years, but I always at least do 1 year of this with my boys, and it's just a solid foundation that helps me help them throughout the years. If they know this, they know what Mama's talking about when we use a different curriculum. It is very parent-teacher intense, and that is sort of why I don't use it every single year. For the composition, if you have watched my videos, you know that we love IEW. It has worked for all my boys, and that is one thing we have. My son, my 10th grader, is using this school year. Now, I do have to tell you a quick story. When I say my oldest was in probably 4th, because I feel like it was the next year, we went to a very small local homeschool, like little curriculum fair, and there was a speaker there from IEW. Didn't know anything about it. Now I went to her little session and she pretty much did a class. Like she explained how it worked, how they did it. And I just sat there thinking, this is it. This is what I was looking for. So I have been with it ever since. We have not done it every single school year. The next year, I think my son went into 5th and we did some of the A videos, which would have been A videos way back then. Because he was probably 10, 11, 12, can't remember. And then we have used it on and off. Like my 5th grader is not using it this school year, but he will next. So really has worked, has been great, and for all my boys. Okay, for history, you know that we are using Heart of Dakota. Now, this is a box curriculum for all the subjects, but I do get it because of the history, the living books, the Charlotte Mason type curriculum. I have lots of guides here, and these are just a few of them. This is the one my high schoolers using this school year. And so there is lots of spines and living books within these guides. But this is the history that we really, really enjoy. And if I had to say another choice, I would probably look, if for younger grades, I would look at Beautiful Feet, maybe middle school, high school, Mystery of History. But I've only used those a couple times. So, okay, next is science. And science is sort of a hard one for me as the mom because science is not really my thing. I do enjoy learning, and I will show you some of the books that I feel like has benefited my boys. They all have learned a lot from these. And that is books by John Hudson Tenner. And this is just a few of them. I was first introduced by this one to these books. And actually my son is using one that is biology this school year with his other one that I would say, because this is more middle school, high school level, which is the 101 series, because I don't have the biology, but he's using the biology. I have a chemistry and a physics. So I would have to say these are our favorite. Okay, for geography, and my son is actually using this geography from Memorial Press. They actually have one for USA, and then they have this book 1 and book 2. And I think they have one that is more for like an 8th, 9th grader, which is like a world geography, but I'm really not familiar with that. But all my boys have used at least this one, and they have enjoyed that, and the US one. We've used the US one too. I do have to mention this because really I love this just as much. It's just sort of this one comes first, and then these are part of the Heart of Dakota geography. They use MapTrek, and they have it just for that curriculum set aside for the middle school guides, starting in the Resurrection to Reformation. And it's just all the maps as you're talking about history. They map out the area and the land that who owned what at the time. So I really, really love this. I do want to mention for a computer program, it's called Shepherd Software, and I will link it below. But it's for kids, and I found it years ago, but my kids would actually play geography games on there. I don't know if they were games, they would just learn where everything is. They can move things. There was different levels of how you would do it. And I think there's lots of other learning games on there, like for numbers, and they still have it. My 5th grader still, like, if he wants something to do and I'm working down here, I'll let him work on the geography. So wanted to share that thought with you, because before probably even the one from Memorial Press, they were working on that, like with the US states and even into the different countries. So, okay, I have a few more things to mention. I do want to mention Bible, but I'm going to just sort of mention it for the early ages, because as they get older, we have done so many different things, and it really depends on what our family is doing to what they're doing. So, but this is definitely a good book for little ones, leading little ones to God. Little devotional that I did with my boys when they were very little, probably preschool age. And then we always have enjoyed the Becca flashcards and just telling the stories and learning about them, opening your Bible, reading scripture, stuff like that. Okay, I do want to mention reading and sort of spelling. This is a program that I was introduced in the very beginning when my son was struggling to spell and to read, and it is Spell to Write and Read. And this is the program that we did with the next 3. So my oldest was actually in school for K4 and kindergarten before we started homeschooling. And he actually did do some of this too for a couple years and for his spelling. But wanted to share this with you. I have a video on that, and I'll link that below if you are wanting to know more about that. This was one of the readers that went along with that. So it's very, very simple. Thing I wanted to mention for spelling, because I mentioned the Spell to Write and Read, is the IEW Phonetic Zoo cards. This is probably one of my favorite just regular spelling programs. We have used a couple things over the years, but they did not last long. It was either the Spell to Write and Read, or we would use this. So wanted to share our favorite spelling. But I do also want to mention that we didn't ever use like an official reading program. I think I tried a couple things. I may have tried BJU. Like, these are not deep in my memory, so I know we didn't like do it the whole school year. I think we even tried a Sunlight, just the reading. I've never used Sunlight, but I think I was trying their reading because it would come with questions for one of my boys, and obviously we did not use it the whole year. I will tell you what more than likely happened is we just read the books. So, and then I found, and this is what I did use for my last 2 boys, is Heart of Dakota, and I will link the guide right here that has this reading schedule, but they use all these books as their books for reading, and they have it all scheduled out, and that is sort of what I would follow. I didn't use that guide. I can't remember if I bought the guide just for the schedule, or if I really can't remember what I did, or I just looked on their site to figure out what the schedule was. But, you know, they start out simple, and I want to say this is first or second grade, and then it would get, you know, a little bit harder. So, and these aren't even all of them. I was surprised that I even had this many of them left. But we would follow that through, and that would be their reading that they would do out loud to me. And they usually enjoyed the books because, especially, you know, like a little bit of history and just some fun books, stuff like that. Actually, I had this long before. This is my second son's. This was his favorite book because this is what really got him reading. He really struggled. He was a late reader, but this interested him enough to say, hey, let me see what's inside there. So, and that is sort of how our reading went. I did use My Father's World for first grade, and they have their little Bible reader. And my last two did that also before they did this. So that sort of is reading. So I really can't pick a curriculum. Okay, this is just like an extra fun thing that you can use for several different grades and ages. Draw and write through history. We have used, I think, a lot of these. This is the one my son is using this school year, just some history things they would draw about and talk about it. And then they also have, I'm going to show you how they finish it. And then they also, let's get to the story part. They will have a story about it that they could copy. So it's learning to draw the pictures of history, and here's an American one, and then write about it. If you could see that. So I just wanted to mention that because that is really a fun thing you can add to any like history, and really they can at least learn to draw the pictures even if they're not ready to do the cursive and the writing and all that stuff yet. All right, I hope that just gave you some ideas of some different curriculum if you were looking into what is out there. So I appreciate you all watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. And if you like homeschool content, encourage me by subscribing and liking this video. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.